Hi everyone, it's Cherie from Paper Pieces and Leftovers, and I went ahead and decided that we're going to do Frannie via video. Just because she's going to go by so easy, and why not? And also so I can show you guys how I made yet another change of mind. Not a mistake, but I glued the snowball down and at the last minute decided that we're going to revamp it and do something completely different to the cardstock. Now, I cut the little earmuff band in half so it's just a big circle because I could get two uses out of one piece instead of using more cardstock to cut out the same piece. And I like to save what I can and also work smarter, not harder. What you're going to do is start with your legs because she's standing and not sitting. So any standing Franklin or Frannie, their legs are going to go on first. Unless they're standing on a stool or sitting down like on the presents, such as the set that I did with Franklin sitting on the gifts. And I imported her into Cricut Design Space at 10.25. That is the color of Basil. That is Basil's color Fussy. And as always, I use American Crafts color Caramel for my Franklin bears and a lot of my kids' hair if it's light brown. The ear pads are the color Blush by American Crafts. The muzzle is going to be the color Straw by American Crafts. And here I was explaining that I'm going to take the donut off of her and change it to chicken on a stick because that's what my order was for. But I didn't have to dig a whole bunch of colors out because I still had them out from yesterday when I cut her out. So it actually made things go by a lot quicker with my choice of colors because I didn't have to go through all of the different pink cardstocks, change my mats, etc., because it was already halfway done. And my white is always in the front along with my caramel because I use them all the time. So the only color that I had to really get out was the green for the carrot stem, and that is the color grass. And then the orange for the carrot, which is the color squash. And both are American Crafts. Now, after you get the legs on your base, you do the feet and the body, and then the the ears and the ear pads. Once again, I had to remind myself to put the scarf on before I glued the head. And while I was talking, I was telling myself, I'm going to forget, and I almost did. And that's how I ended up doing a re-record, a voiceover of the video, was just because I was sitting there going, what am I doing? It's backwards. But I was realizing that I was tired. Looking at the clock, it's now 3:20 a.m. and I'm still up because I just haven't settled down yet after my exciting day yesterday. I love Franklin and Frannie. They are my favorite go-tos. In the video when I was doing Franklin, I should have glued my arms on the back of the body before I did the scarf. And so I wanted to point that out. If you watched this video before the Franklin, put the arms on behind the body before you put the scarf on. The same way I'm building her, you're going to build him. And I could have knocked them both out in the same video if I would have at least built one or the other up all the way up until the scarf and then just added the head on to explain the way it goes because they're both going to be done in the same manner. They're mirroring each other. And I'm actually looking at another Franklin file to cut out just because you can't go wrong with Franklin or Frannie. It's just impossible. And here was my great debate on what to put on the scarf. I did go dig in the drawer and pulled out my Doodlebug shape sprinkles. 12 by 12 cardstock shop has these. I was color matching there which one I wanted to go to. And I actually moved that over to the other scarf tail for the final picture. You guys will notice in the thumbnail and also on the post. I changed my mind a lot. And I was also explaining, don't throw away your cardstock that you've changed your mind on. Because some of the files don't have bases. And I use it as a support by cutting a rectangle and going from the head to the mid-body. That I was going to use on the ugly sweater, but it was a little too wide. And those are the candy canes that you guys thought I made, but I didn't. It's Doodlebug. I love their little shape sprinkles. They're epoxy, and I've used them as long as I can remember. My husband and I went camping during the pandemic. We stayed in a cabin, not out, but our nephew came with us. He slept outside in the tent, and it was just a little too cold for me. Plus, with my back and neck surgery, it's really hard to lay on a hard ground. And the beds weren't much better, but at least we were also inside. And because we took my daughter with us, and it was just easier because it was a queen size bed and then two twin beds because my mother-in-law came as well, and she was 68 then because well, no, 67 because she's 70 now. And here is where I played around with the snowball, and looking at it, I didn't want it to look so similar to my scarf. So I was trying to figure out how to alter it just enough where it didn't look like the scarf. So I was showing you guys some different options that you could implement into snow because it has that real glittery effect in real life. My mom lives in Wisconsin. I've visited her. I lived there for a year. So snow glistens very pretty. It's too cold for me with my hardware. And I dug out different kinds of cardstock. This one is very shiny. It's a glossy glitter cardstock. And I ended up pulling out another one that has blue, yellow, pink, purple hues in it of glitter. And it looks more like snow. And I got it from 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop. It's just white glitter cardstock, but the reflection in it is a lot to resemble snow. And I actually did cut it out after I ended the video. And I ripped off the mitten and glued the other cardstock over the snowball. I left the snowball alone just to give it some extra support. And I put the mitten back onto the snowball. And you guys will see that in the thumbnail and on the post, like I said. So after you glue the half portion, the top part that her earmuffs connect to, the band, and the scarf, her head's going to go on last. And then after all of that's glued on, you'll put the little ovals a little bit lower than her ears, and those are the earmuffs. And yes, I know in the file they're off-white. I still wanted to go with my pink color for my ear pads because I love that look. So I didn't use the same color cardstock for my ear pads and also the mittens and the earmuffs. One is a more brighter, vibrant pink, and one is more pastel, pale pink. And that's where I was saying, save your scraps, and you would just run a rectangle from the head to the mid-body, and that just ensures that the head doesn't bend. So I do have a drawer full of scraps, and I just cut rectangles. I did add a little bit of lines to my carrot just to give it a little personality. And here's the finished piece, minus the snow, but there you go. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day.